Let's see if they can destroy me. Welcome back to another deck build. This is an Angel Commander deck. You can see that Avacyn, Angel of Hope, is the commander, as noted. Flying Vigilance, and then when she and all of her and all other permanents we have control are indestructible. So if that stays out, good luck destroying anything. It is quite costly to get out, but nice commander, fun to kind of play around with. And with that, we'll start going into the rest of them. A bunch of angels, mostly angels. Why it's called an angel deck. So we've got the Legion Angel, flying. When Angel enters the battlefield, you may reveal a card you named Legion Angel from outside the game, put in your hand. So I do have one. I know there's no sideboard in Commander, but I have one there because it says that's what I can do. So when I normally play, you can pull one of those out. It only works on the first time. And then Angel of Vitality, flying. When you gain life, you gain 1 extra instead. And she's +2/+2, and you have 25. So being a commander deck, if she gets out fairly quick, because she is only a 3, a 2 and a white, she starts off at 4/4, plus with all the health gain. You got the Baneslayer Angel, flying, first strike, lifelink, protection from demons and dragons. It's kind of fun if you actually run into those. Blinding Angel, flying. I'm stop saying flying because we'll just assume angels have flying unless otherwise noted. But whenever she deals combat to a player, that player skips their next combat phase. So blind your opponent. Angel of the Dawn. When she enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +1/+1 and villages until the end of the turn. Sephira Sky's Blade. You may pay white and tap 4 untapped creatures you control with flying rather than pay the stealth cost. So if I have some angels out, I can use them to help caster. Other creatures you control with flying have indestructible. So another ability to be able to get my creatures indestructible, and most of my creatures will have flying, as you'll see that throughout this. Linvala, Keeper of Silence. Activated abilities of creatures your opponents control can't be activated. So again, a lot of powerful angels out there. Flying, first strike, lifelink. All orange angels control +1/+1 and have lifelink. So Lyra, Dawnbringer. That does give me some more power to my angels. Iona, Shield of Emeria. A lot to cast to get her out, but you can choose a color and then they can't cast that. So if they're playing a single player deck, they can't cast it. This is a fairly powerful deck. There's obviously ways around a lot of this stuff in there, but there's a lot of powerful angels in here. Akrama, Angel of Wrath. First strike, Vigilance, Trample, Haste, protection from black and red. Angel of Invention. Vigilance, Lifelink, Fabricate. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. So again, a little bit more ramp in that one. Sunblast Angel. When Sunblast enters the battlefield, destroy all tapped creatures. Angel of the Dire Hour. Flash, which enters the battlefield. If you cast it from your hand, exile all attacking creatures. That flash allows it to get in there and have some fun. Emeria Angel has landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying onto the battlefield. And to get this deck going, you're going to need a lot of land. Sephira of the Suns, indestructible by herself. Sarah Angel, attacking does not cause her to tap, so Vigilance. Battlegrace Angel, exalted. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains lifelink until the end of the turn. Akrama, Vision of Ixidor. I'm sure I'm not saying half this stuff right, but she has first strike, Vigilance, Trample. At the beginning of each combat until the end of this turn, each other creature you control gets +1/+1 if it has flying, +1/+1 if it's first strike, and so on for double strike, death touch. So all these creatures that have a lot of these abilities are going to get a lot stronger. Exquisite Angel. If you would lose the game, instead exile Archangel and your life total becomes equal to your starting life. So that is a second life. If this is out and I go to lose the game, I get to a nice little reset. Planar Ally, mostly because it's another angel. But it does give me Venture in the Dungeon when it attacks. Angel Finality. Whenever it enters the battlefield, exile all cards from the player's graveyard. Gives me a little bit of exile from the graveyard. Archangel of Thune. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature control. Don't have a whole lot of life gain in this, but there are some things that plus it. Levana the Preserver. When she enters the battlefield, if an opponent has more life than you, you gain 5 life. Again, I have some ways to gain life, but not a lot. When she enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more creatures than you, put a 3/3 white creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Inspiring Overseer. When you enter the battlefield, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Some of my few lesser mana angels. And then I have the Segovian Angel. Probably one of my few 1-drops. Flying Vigilance. Enduring Angel. Hexproof Double Strike. If your life total has been reduced to 0 or less, instead transform into an angel and your life becomes 3. Then if ever an angel is transformed, you lose the game. So if I die a second time, this card doesn't save me again, is what it's saying. So that is the flip side, the transformation. Whenever it attacks, I double my life total. So again, a few ways to kind of come back from the brink, a few ways to keep things from dying. Avacyn the Purifier. This is the wrong side to start on, sorry. Archangel Avacyn. Flying and Vigilance and Flash. Whenever Avacyn enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain indestructible until the end of the turn. When a non-angel creature you control dies, transform. So she gets stronger when one dies. That's when she turns a Purifier. And whenever it transforms, it deals 3 damage to each opponent, other creature and each opponent. So if a non-angel dies, which I do have a few non-angels, but this is mostly an angel deck, so that's going to be rare. And then Avacyn again, Guardian Angel. 1 and a white, prevent all damage that would be dealt to other creature that's turned by sources of color of your choice. 5 and 2 whites, prevent all damage that would be dealt to target player this turn by colors of your choice. So again, I prevent damage to target creature or myself if I have plenty of mana, which we'll see. I have some things that kind of help that out. Sanctuary Warden. Enter battlefield, kill shield counters. Whenever attacks, you may remove a shield counter from a creature or planeswalker you control. Whenever she enters battlefield or attacks, you may remove a counter from a creature. If you do, draw a card and create a 1/1 green-white creature token. So some of these are just kind of interesting. Gidia, Fount of Hope. She has Vigilance. Each other angel you control enters the battlefield with initial +1/+1 counter. And for each entry you already control, so this could ramp my angels really quickly. Tap, and then I can add 1 to cast angel spells. So again, if I need a little bit more mana, she's a pretty nice 1 and a white drop, 2-drop. For multiple reasons, if I can get her out quick, I can get more power to my angels and then also more mana. Platinum Angel, starting to get artifacts. Can't lose a game, and your opponents can't win the game. Again, multiple things to help me try to stay alive, if albeit a little bit longer. Soul Warden, whenever any creature comes to play, gain 1 life. So that's nice if I keep her alive, and every time a creature comes in I get a life. So I did have a few of those. Captain of the Watch. Other soldier creatures you get control +1/+1 Vigilance. I might trade this to a different deck as I get more angels or find other cards. So this might not be in here long. You'll see the latest and greatest deck build in the link below to my deck build. So Captain of the Watch gives you some other soldiers. I don't have a lot of soldiers, but it will give me 3. So just by herself, she brings a lot to it. Elite Spellbinder, Human Cleric. This gives me flying and a way to kind of take a card off the field. Celestial Crusader, Flash, flying. Other white creatures, so again a little bit of ramp. White creatures get +1/+1. So I do, again, a few things that can die, that can change Avacyn. Helio, God of the Sun. indestructible. As long as your devotion to white is less than 5, he's not a creature. There's so much white in this deck. That's not a huge problem. Other creatures you control have Vigilance. And two whites. Put a 2/1 white creature, white cleric enchantment creature token on the battlefield. But not an angel. Mass Calcify. All my creatures are pretty much white, except for the one that makes me not lose a game. But if that's not out, I can destroy all non-white creatures. Gauntlet of Power. Gauntlet Power enters the battlefield, choose a color. Creatures of the chosen color +1/+1. So again, all my creatures are pretty much white. Add +1 to them, a little bit of ramp. Whenever basic land is tapped for a mana of the chosen color, controller adds additional 1 mana. So this is very, very powerful for white ramp. You'll notice I'm getting into my artifacts. Lightning Greaves. Equip has Haste and Shroud. Can't be the target of spells or abilities, and there's 0 equip to it. So if I can pay it, I can equip it straight to a creature and have Haste and Shroud. Moon Silver Spear. Equip has First Strike. Whenever it attacks, it creates a 4/4 white creature with flying. Angel creature. Equip 4. So a little bit to get out, but give me some angels and get First Strike. And the Holy Avenger. So equip 2 and a white. Whenever an equipped creature deals combat damage, you may put a Aurora card from your hand onto the battlefield, attach it. Don't have a lot of those either, but it's a cool card. World Slayer. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, destroy all permanents other than World Slayer. Key to this is I have so much indestructibility in this deck. If I time this right, this is a nice way to just destroy everything, but all my permanents have indestructible. Plate Armor. Equipped creature gets +3/+3 and has Ward 1. Equip 3. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each other equipment control. So I do have quite a bit of equipment in there, so that might come out a little bit cheaper. But +3/+3 and Ward 1. That's nice. Tower of Eons. A way to gain some life. Decent amount of life. A lot of mana, but I'll show you other things for that. The Book of Exalted Deeds. At the beginning of your end step, if you have gained 3 or more life this turn, create a 3/3 white angel creature. So again, you see you have quite a few ways to gain some life. Then I can do 3 whites in the tap, exile the book, put a lion counter on target angel. It reads, you can't lose a game and your opponents can't win the game. So another way to add that to something, especially if it's indestructible. Ways around everything that I have in here, but it is a pretty powerful deck. Angel's Feather, just another way to get life. Whenever there's a white spell cast, which I'll be casting a lot of them, I gain a life. Alright, halfway through this deck. Call of the Copper Coats, just a way to get some soldiers out there. Congregate. Again, target player gets 2 lives for each creature in play, so if a lot of creatures in play, I can gain a lot of life with that, which if other cards in play could give me a lot of life. Swords to Plowshares, remove target creature from the game, the creature gains life, so possibly can even use this in my own defense, get rid of something to get life if I need it badly. Probably not, but it is a way to remove a target for 1 white mana. Worship. If you control a creature, damage that would reduce your life to total to less than 1 is 1. So again, kind of gives me invulnerability as long as I have a creature, which indestructible might help with that. Honor the Pure. White creatures get ++1, so some ramp. Cathar's Crusade. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under control, put a +1 counter on each creature control. So as I add creatures, I get a bunch of ramp. Pull this off to the side. And then Crusade. All white creatures get +1/+1. That's for all creatures, but more ramp. Land tax. Again, making sure I can get more land if I am outland. Cleric class. More life gain. So if you would gain life, you gain that much +1 instead. 3 and a white whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter creature on creature control. So again, if I gain any life from all these, I can plus up creatures. And then when it's level 3, target creature card you from the graveyard. So basically raise dead. And then Paladin. Spells opponents cast during my turn costs 1 more. More creature ramp, +1/+1 on level 2 and level 3 whenever you attack until end of turn. Target attacking creature gets +1/+1 for each other attacking creature and double strike. So again, ramp up for my battle. Inspiring Leader, fairly new one to the deck. My Commander, creature tokens you get +2/+2, so if I can get that onto my Commander, that's nice. Valiant Endeavor, roll 2d6 to choose one, destroy each creature with power greater than that, then create a number of 2 white knights, 2/2 white knight creatures with vigilance equal to the other result. So, depending on what you need to do, if you roll one low, you can destroy creatures above that, or vice versa, depending on what you need to do. So, nice little card. And again, if you have Indestructible, that card becomes that much more powerful. Now I'm getting to my lands, so we'll go fairly quickly through these. Ancient Den, Artifact Land, Misty Veil Plains, enters tapped. However, I can do white and tap, put target creature from your graveyard on the bottom of the library, active spell only if you control 2 or more white permanents. So I can bring stuff out of the dead, which on a commander deck is probably not super useful because they just go to the bottom of the huge deck. But that's okay, it's nice. Cave of the Frost Giant, Dragon, 2 more lands, comes in tap, so if there's a fast land, tap and a white, and then 4 and a white, Cave of the Frost Giant becomes a 3/4 white dragon creature with flying. Still land. Windbrisk Heights, Hideaway, enters tapped, and white in a tap, you may play the exile card without playing its mana cost. You attack with 3 or more creatures this turn, so I can hide away a creature and bring it back in later under the conditions. Forbidding Watchtower, tapped, 1 white, and then 1 and a white, and I get a 1/5 white creature. Icathian Store, and I'll just show the next one too. Fountain of Cho, allow me to store counters, pretty much work back the same way. And then I have Mary's Call, which gives me Shattered Skyclave. Soul Ring, old school, 2 colorless mana. A lot of the angels have colorless mana, so a little bit of mana ramp. Mana Rock there. Marble Diamond. Enters tap, but gives me some white. And then I go into my lands. So I'll just show them to you real quick. Some of them look kind of cool. Lining them up with the camera is not always so easy. So that's a really cool pixel one. Snow-covered plains. There we go. Nice full graphic lands. That's a vampire one. Snow-covered plains. Another full plains. And another retro arcade plains. I think that's about the end of the plane, so go a little bit quicker for most of these. You can see that I have plenty of planes in order to make sure I can cast all of those angels. 3, 2, 1. And that is my angel deck. So you can see there's a lot of angels in there, a lot of powerful angels, a lot of powerful features. That's all I got for this deck, though. See you next time. This video is brought to you by Avencia, where modern wonders meet medieval arms and magic. Join unexpected individuals as they navigate a world full of old marvels. Buy the first novel on Amazon, or check out our Compendium, which augments your favorite role-playing game with the world of Avencia. Take it one step further. Run your players through the Honey Badgers campaign and to test their might as gunslingers for a small town out west. Links below.